Hey, how's it going? No, I'm not in my studio. No, this is not Seattle. This is sunny Southern California. I'm finally getting a chance to relax because we just shot a monster episode and I'm really excited to show it to you. Let me take you back to where it all started, right here on 3D Printing Nerd. Yeah, the prints are done. Oh, it worked a treat. They look fantastic. In fact, they're upstairs in the studio. Yeah. We're about to actually film the opening before we get on that airplane. Yeah, we'll see you soon, man. Yeah, love you too. Okay, bye. Yeah, that was David, our producer, and he had this crazy idea. We have no time left to do this, but that's what he does, and I went along with it, and sure enough, it worked so far. The prints are done, they're upstairs, and I can't wait for you to see this. Let me show you. Maleficent is a classic Disney villain. Maleficent. Maleficent? Maleficent.
Maleficent.
You poor simple fools.
And lots of people choose to cosplay and dress up as her. In fact, there's even a new movie with Maleficent, played by Angelina Jolie.
Well.
The problem is a lot of the cosplay outfits include horns that are substandard and don't really live up to the expectations of what Maleficent should be. So what we get to do is design some. We're gonna design a headpiece and some horns and we're gonna put them on someone, but it all has to start somewhere. So what we did first, we had an idea and we reached out to Chelsea and Garrett over at Chaos CoreTech, and they are, first of all, wonderful people, excellent hosts. I've stayed at their house. But what they did is they modeled Maleficent's headpiece and horns for us, and they did an amazing job. Digitally, it is perfection. And I nearly wept at the beauty that was this headpiece. Now that we have the digital model though, we have to print it out. The next step in this was to print it life-size. And for life-size printing, especially of something that goes over your head, you're going to need measurements. Our model for this, her name is Shannon. She is a fitness instructor down in the Los Angeles area, and she is up for the challenge of being Maleficent. I got the circumference of her head, and then using math, I was able to find the diameter, and then I scaled the model 185%, and that seemed to bring it to precisely what I hope to be the right size. This size requires an incredibly large build volume, and that's why I'm choosing the Raise 3D Pro 2 Plus for this project. It also comes with 2 extruders, which means I can use dissolvable filament for my support interface layers and Wi-Fi printing and monitoring, so I can take a look at the print and check up on it while I'm on the go. And then what I did is I sliced it in Idea Maker, and using Raise 3D's PVA filament and their PLA, I was able to print the helmet, I was able to print the horns, and then I was able to combine them together, and I want to show it to you. This is it. My fingers are still a little bit wet because the process of creating this is something, let me tell you. This took 5.5 days to print, and it was printing upside down. It didn't affect the model much because if you look at it, it looks great. The horns were printed on the Raise 3D Pro 2 Plus, and they were using the same PLA and PVA combination. I think that both machines performed exceptionally well. And the reason my hands are wet is because we just got done removing the PVA supports from this. And so what we did to do that was fill the sink with water. We put the stopper in it, we put the helmet, we put the horns, we put it in the sink, and then we went to lunch. And then when we came back, the water was all soupy and filled with PVA, and then I scrubbed it because I needed it to kind of get off the models right away. You could just let it sit for hours and hours, but we don't have hours and hours because, like I said, our flight leaves in the morning. You can look right here. This is the underside of the model. This is the interface with the PVA, and it looks incredible. Look at that, the top of the headpiece here, that was the interface between the PVA and the model, and it looks incredible too. The PVA came off pretty easily. I did have to scrub it kind of hard, but warm water makes short work of that. But we're not ready yet because I did something else. We printed a second helmet. The idea being, I have these measurements for Shannon, and I'm fingers crossed, both of them, that this will fit on her head. It may not. And so what Garrett did was he split the model right down here, and then because these machines were done being used for that, I was able to do this one on the N2 Plus, this one on the Pro 2 Plus. And to speed things up, I didn't use the PVA for the support interface layer for the support. I used a trick that Uncle Jesse taught us. When printing helmets, there's two ways you can go about it. One is to put custom supports around the perimeter of the helmet and just hope that your printer can handle that. The second is to put a geometric shape inside the helmet to consume a lot of the space that the support would normally take. And this is hollow. That's hollow as well. It's just no infill with a single perimeter and a lot of top layers. The top layers bridge over the top and create a structure for the support to sit on. And what this does is it not only speeds up the print, but it uses far less material, with each of these taking less than 24 hours. Hey, let's see if we can take the supports off. So just to show you, completely hollow. There we go. It just required a little bit of convincing. All right, there's a little bit more I can clean out. But what's great, if you look at this, because this is completely hollow, our only support material essentially was this bit right here, and we saved all of that material. So this would go together like this. So at this point, the models are ready. What I need to do now is pack them into the same container that took the Open RC car to the Midwest Rap Festival. I'm gonna pack them really well because I don't want anything to break. I'm gonna bring some 3D gloop with me just in case. I'm also gonna bring a heat gun because in case something needs to be formed in a way. I don't know, I'm gonna put some tools in a box and I'm gonna check it on the airplane. And then I will see you in Los Angeles. Hey look, we've made it to Los Angeles, and we're here at Thingergy, one of the world's coolest prop shops and one of the coolest places I've ever visited. You know they're cool because they've worked on some of your favorite shows, such as The Orville, or Stranger Things on Netflix, or even the upcoming show C on the Apple TV service. Frank here is going to show us some really cool ways to help finish these Maleficent models that we have in a short amount of time. And in fact, he's waiting for us right now. Let's go inside. Hey look, I'm here with Frank. Hey man.
How's it going?
Going good. Frank is at Thingergy here.
Thingergy?
This is your shop, right?
Yes.
And what does Thingergy do?
We make a lot of things.
That's perfect. I reached out to Frank because Frank has some awesome 3D printers and he knows how to use them, and that's where these horns came in. So I talked about the process I used with dissolvable filament. You went a different route. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, most of the time what we have to do here in the shop is make things quick. And when you have soluble filament, it takes more time for the print because it's got to swap and everything. So we just go right for it, and we just use the regular filament and clean it up real quick.
But for you in the shop, cleaning it up is aided by years of experience and people that know what they're doing. For me... Sometimes it's new kid on the street. Hey, you want to clean something up? Here's a piece of sandpaper. I mean, that's really it. Is that what the kids like to do nowadays?
Sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just get them off the street?
Yeah, put them in the sand castle back there and they get to just sand all day.
The sand castle?
Yeah, that's what that corner of the shop's called.
Well, what we should do then is we should sand these in the sand castle because we're gonna need to clean these up. What I did, I printed this.
Yes.
And it's fully 3D printed. And
yes.
I know you have an opinion on this.
Well, if we were to do it because of film industry, we would print the skull cap with these little horn plugs, and then all this stuff that's supposed to be fabric, we would use fabric. Because then you don't have to paint a print to look like fabric. It's just, you know, you just wrap it around and make it look. It also saves a little bit of modeling time, makes it probably fit a little bit better if you don't know who it's necessarily going to go on, or if that person's maybe hair is bigger one day, or, you know, there's all kinds of things. So if it's fabric, make it out of fabric.
Well, if I had fabric. This isn't the fabric show. This is the 3D printing nerd show.
Yeah.
So obviously, there are more ways to skin this cat.
Yes, always.
Okay. Well, I used printing.
I think it's awesome.
And I think it turned out pretty decent.
Yes.
What I've also done, though, as a backup, so you printed these horns as a backup for me. I printed this as a backup as well. And I didn't use soluble supports. I split it, and then we printed it with this as the support material. And then it just needs to be connected up right there. So my hope for today is to utilize your expertise in being able to finish props. And with the minuscule amount of time that we have left before we need to put this on our model, we get this looking good. We'll use 3D glue to adhere the horns to everything. And then why don't we take this one, I mean, we'll sand this one down to get the nubbins off, but this one, why don't we finish a little bit and make it look a little bit better?
That sounds good. Actually, last week, Rick Baker's new book just came out, and he has a couple of pages specifically on Maleficent, so we could use that for some color reference on how to paint it.
Oh, that would be great. Yep. For this though, we're going to utilize the Rick Baker book and its color reference.
Yes.
What would that be on here? Can you, is it some dry brushing?
It's probably going to be a little bit of washes of color. Some dry brushing on the horns. We'll do a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go do that?
Yes.
Let's go. Look at that.
See?
Oh, the texture's wonderful. Frank, this looks fantastic. It looks like the paint's dried on the horns, and this texture is amazing.
It helps a little bit, doesn't it?
It's crazy to think, and that is just, that was, the paint was an bed liner.
Yeah, it's bed liner texture.
Bed liner texture.
Yeah, I just got it at the auto parts store. I don't remember which one.
Jeez, it's so
It just
organic.
It adds a little
texture.
bit to it, yeah.
Well, it's dry now, so now what's next on the agenda?
So we were looking at the reference photos from Rick Baker's book, and it looks like it's got these like lighter browns with a dark brown kind of brushed over it.
Right.
And then it gets darker towards the end. So I'm just gonna throw in some lighter browns, dry brush some darker brown. That's it.
And just with is that just a chip brush?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, well, you got the gloves on, man. I'm gonna
Well,
let you go to work.
You'll see. It's painted.
That is so cool. So we used that bed liner paint, and then you dry brushed some oranges, like a darker orange or a brown, or just an organic kind of color to it.
Oh, we're just trying to, as best we can, sort of mimic the reference we had in the photos.
Well, it looks like you did a fantastic job with that.
Well, for the 15 minutes we spent on it, yeah.
But that's great, and it's great to know that people out there, if they have a limited amount of time, some quick techniques like this can really make their prop and costume just pop.
Yeah. You don't need fancy everythings. Regular acrylic paint and a regular 1-inch brush. Nothing special.
That's so cool. Well, Frank, people are going to want to know how to find you. How can they find you?
We are all over social media. Somehow or another, Thingergy. It's thingergyinc.com. Twitter and Instagram are Thingergy, or I don't remember. It's either Thingergy or Thingergy Inc.
We'll put a link down in the description.
There's something down here.
Well, I think it's lunchtime. What do you say we let this dry just a little bit more and go get some tacos?
I want tacos.
Sounds like a good idea. We're done at Frank's shop, and now we're here in another part of Los Angeles, and we're here with Shannon.
Hi guys.
Shannon, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you have no experience with 3D printing things yet.
Not yet.
I'm really excited because we've created something really special with 3D printing, and we've been able to finish in a way that makes it look spectacular. And I'm excited that this is going to be your first opportunity with it. So what do you think it's gonna feel like, or what are you expecting?
I mean, honestly, you know how you order something online and then it comes, it looks like shiny and new and perfect, and then it comes and it's like not? That's kind of what I expect.
Okay, that's valid, obviously, yeah.
Because I just don't get how it works. I'm like, how can a tough, beautiful, real product be printed?
Oh, okay. I like that you have that question though, because that's a question that a lot of people out there will have that haven't had the chance to experience 3D printing before. And I can tell you that we can print something and then we can use finishing techniques like paints and sandpapers and other things to make it look shiny brand new or old or whatever we want. In this case, with what we've created for you, we've 3D printed an object, and it's pretty good size, and it's going to go on your head. And we had someone, a master prop maker, help us finish parts of it to make it look incredibly awesome.
Okay, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And do you want to see it?
I do. You have been building it up. I haven't seen it. This is for real. So yes, please let me see it.
Are you good, Sean?
Drum roll, please.
Okay, close your eyes. Okay, hand.
Is it slimy?
No. Okay, hold it. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes.
Whoa. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, and it's so light too.
Yeah, it's not too heavy at all.
No. What?
What do you think?
I want to put it on my head.
I want you to wear this more than anything in the world right now, but first, what we need to do is hand you off to our makeup artist, and you have to look the part before you can wear the part.
I get to look the part that goes with this.
Absolutely.
This is the best day ever.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. You ready to do this?
Oh my gosh, yes. This is so cool. The detail is crazy.
I am floored that this finally made it into your hands. Shannon, honestly, it's so exciting to see you holding this because of everything that I was going through over the last week and a half to make this happen. And it's just, this is like the final lap.
I measured my head for you.
Yes, you did.
It's like we made a baby.
It's like we made a weird baby. All right, Shannon, are you ready? Here, hand me our weird baby. Are you ready to become Maleficent?
I don't think I've ever been more ready to not be myself.
Oh, this is exciting. Let's go do it.
Let's go.
Hey, look at this. We are done, and Shannon looks amazing. This is incredible. How do you feel?
Darling. Isn't it obvious?
Oh, it really completes the look. The makeup is fantastic, and with the horns on, it's mind-blowing how awesome this is. How do you feel? Do you feel the part?
I feel like a whole different person, like my alter ego, my inner word I'm not allowed to say is gonna come out, so you better watch out.
This is exciting too because this is your first experience with 3D printing, right?
Yes, it feels so good. I just can't believe how it came together. The makeup is amazing, and I feel so cool because nobody else is gonna have this. This is so unique.
I love that you think that way, and this is great. Do you think? So this is your first experience with 3D printing. Mm-hmm. Do you think 3D printing then, knowing what you know now about it, do you think that could help and augment other parts of your life?
I think I'm just gonna 3D print everything now.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it just opens up a whole new world of creativity and what's possible, and to see the whole process and experience it and have it all come together is like life-changing, I would imagine, for people.
It is. It very much is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm so excited you got to experience it. Listen, you guys, everybody out there, Shannon is wonderful. How can they find you if they want to know more about you?
So I'm on Instagram at Shannon Shape.
Shannon Shape on Instagram. Go follow her there. You're going to see some exclusive behind-the-scenes photos.
Absolutely.
Also, I do want to give a huge shout out to Jessie, our makeup artist, and you can find her on Instagram at Blush and Bone, BLUSHANDBONE. Oh, wonderful. Well, you know what? It's customary to offer my audience a thanks and a high five. Are you up for it?
Oh, yes, that's nice.
Thanks for making this far. If you
Thank
did,
you.
you're awesome. And don't forget to hug each other more, because I love you all, as always.
Just straight to the camera.
Just like that.
High five.
High five. A big thanks to Raise 3D for making this episode possible.